Thank you. The next question is the London living wage. Assembly Member Twycross.
Fiona, yes, thank you. I'm hesitant about encouraging strikes, or I know there's a particular issue at the Ritzy Cinema, and you've written to them, and I think I've written to them as well. And I'm sympathetic with the workforce there, but I would just say to them and to everybody in London, this is something that we've got to work with employers to win them over. This is something we've got to show is not part of we're not returning to adversarial climate between employees and bosses. This is about showing the management of this cinema chain that actually it's in their interest to do this.
Yes.
It's a good thing, and you don't have to do that, in my view, by holding them to ransom. I think we should show how it keeps costs down, it produces better HR, and it's right for the company.
Yeah, and you know that, and we know that, and the staff at Ritzy Cinema and the other Picturehouse cinemas across London know that. But unfortunately, they have tried to get these points across to the management before they took industrial action. So for them, this is the last resort, and I think that you'll be aware that they went on strike for the 5th time on Saturday in order to try and get publicity around their claims.
Well, I'm very happy
that it's about the pace of change not being fast enough for people who are being told by you, they're being told by us, they're being told by loads of people that they should be entitled to the living wage if their employer is earning enough money. And I think the Cineworld, who own Picturehouse, is expected to make over £64 million profit this year alone. So I think there's a huge frustration out there, and I think it's almost an inevitable consequence of that, that people start taking industrial action if things don't progress fast enough.
I understand that. I mean, I think we've just got to think about what tactics are likely to be effective in the long run.
Yeah.
And I think if you get to a situation where people's egos feel bruised and they feel that it's confrontational, and they feel that they're being bullied, and there's a strike that's not in the interest of I think it's much the living wage has greatly expanded in the last few years on a voluntary basis. And I think that the more of a gun you hold to people's heads, the less successful we'll be.
But I do think there's a great mismatch between the rhetoric around it, including your rhetoric, if I'm being honest, and what's actually happening on the ground. And you'll be aware that I wrote to you earlier this week to mention a couple of points that I'd raised this morning. And I know from previous questions that you've contacted and you've agreed to contact and speak to a range of employers in London, making the case, as you have done this morning, about the living wage and asking them to consider paying it to their staff. And in my letter, I asked you to contact Lynn Golby, the Chief Executive of Picturehouse
I believe
Cinema.
I have written.
So you have previously written to her, or you have written since the letter?
I think I've written very recently to her. I think pursuing your letter of the 9th of June. I wrote on the 10th of June.
Good, thank you.
So,
and would in the letter, do you ask to meet her to discuss it? Because I think it is one of those companies that sort of promotes itself as ethical, and I think it would be a huge benefit, and obviously it would be
I wrote yesterday.
A huge coup for Picturehouse to sort of be able to promote themselves as a company that pays the living wage.
Yes, I mean, I just think the thing about the living wage, it's got to be, if companies feel that there's no honour or virtue in what they're doing, but that they are being bullied into doing it and shamed into doing it, then all I'm saying to you is they're less likely to do it. If they feel that by doing it, if we make the argument to them that what they're doing is for the good of their employees, but also for their bottom line,
and will you meet the workforce? Will you meet people from the Ritzy Picturehouse who work there so that they can talk to you about their frustrations as well?
I will do my best to. If you, Fiona, what you need to do is get on to my team on the 8th floor.
Okay, I mean they'd really appreciate your support in this.
I will do my utmost.
It would be good if
I get in
meet
deep
them.
trouble, as you know, for making too many commitments to.
Well, I think this is a commitment that it would be good for you to meet them and talk to them about their case. Thank you.
Assembly Member